Okay, we're back for video number 3. This is basically the prep day. I get all my measurements made, align things. I just got done with my laser and setting up a line right down the middle of the airplane. Starts here, there, the anti-collision light, and all the way back. So that'll be my reference. From that I'll measure out, set up my 2-inch offset on my gear. So instead of the gear coming all the way over to here, we're going to actually be out to here. That should put the wheel right outside the wing attach fittings, right up in this area. So anyway, today is cut those dowel rods off, clean up that spar, open up this wing a little bit more, and kind of get ready for bolting that thing in place. So my plan is I'm going to use the laser once I get the gear clamped by eyesight. I will set the laser up here, shoot a horizontal line across. That's after I get the fuselage set on these jack stands and leveled. So I'll shoot a laser across here, and I'll use that laser to set up the end of the gear so that they're at the same height. And then I'll use my digital protractor to make sure that the angle is correct. And then once all that is set, I should be exactly where I want to be, and then we're going to start drilling holes and bolting the gear in place. So anyway, today, like I said, just a short video. This is prep day. So anyway, we'll reconvene here tomorrow and see what we can do about getting this thing actually bolted on the airplane. Thanks. Alright, welcome back. Today we're gonna test fit the gear, kind of mark where the holes are going to be. So I've got the first one started here, and I've opened up the wing a little bit, ran a belt sander on the face after I filled the holes. You can see these are the old holes. And I moved the gear out so the bracket actually from the center of the aircraft we're at 24 inches to the start of the bracket. And you can see the gear is pretty much going to line up with the wing attach fittings. So the tire's actually going to be just outside the wing attach fittings. So I got the other side ready to go. Just got finished belt sanding it. I will also mix up some vinyl ester and paint this before I put the gear on there to reseal the plywood. So anyway, I'm getting ready to affix this second gear, and then we'll take another look at it. Okay, so some of the things we're going to do is use a laser, shoot across the top of this gear, make sure they're at the same height. I've got my digital protractor showing 0. I also went inside the airplane on the main spar to make sure that that read the same as the inside. So now I can take all my measurements out here. The digital protractor also will be used to make sure we get this angle right, and looks like we're at 50.2 here, and 48.8, so we got a 49.1, so we got a small adjustment to make. Also, from the outside of the bracket to the end of the wing attached fittings, we've got 9, looks like about 9.5 on this side, just to double check our spacing here. And over here we've got, let's see, 9.5. All right, so I know horizontally I'm good. I know the fuselage is leveled, so I just got to get the angle the same on these two gear and make sure vertically that they're the same, and then I can drill a hole. So when I get to that point, I will shoot some more video. Let's take a look at it from the end just to see. You can, I'll tell you what, it looks, sure looks the same. One thing I didn't mention, when I drew out the shape on the Tiger gear, I went for 15 degrees, actually ended up with 17.7, which is fine. I didn't want to go over 18, so basically this gear is 18 degrees. So that's just where that ended up. So anyway, we'll shoot some more video when we're drilling some holes. Thanks. Okay, so we're ready to drill some holes. Just going to show you how the laser's helping me out here. So I'm 24 inches from center line out to the beginning of the bracket. I'm 9.5 inches from this side of the bracket to the end of the wing attached fittings. I am 14.5 inches from the wing skin to the highest point on the gear here on both sides. There's the laser. I'm coming across right at the end of the aluminum here. Okay, and on the other side, coming across at the same spot. And with the digital protractor, I'm at 50 inches or 50 degrees angle on both gear. So just confirm we are still at 0, and we are 0.1 down on the left, 0.01. Anyway, so they are at this point exactly the same on both sides, and I can drill a hole. So what I'll do is probably drill one hole, put one bolt in, and then I'll come back, remeasure everything again to get the angles right before I drill the second hole. The other thing I'm going to do, originally this had large fender washers on these holes, and I'm going to use a piece of 1/8 inch aluminum that's going to go all the way across and spread that load, because it tended to crush the plywood there, and I ended up filling all that with flocks and sanding it down with a belt sander to get it all smooth again. These are the washers that came out, and so I'm going to use probably a inch and a half wide piece of aluminum, just you know, the stuff you get from Home Depot, and that's going to be my backing plate. Spread that load out. So anyway, I will do some more video when I get some holes drilled, and when I take the final measurements to make sure it all is correct. So we'll see you then. Okay, just going to wrap this video up. I've got one hole drilled. Let's see, this one's the upper right corner. I painted the spar with the vinyl ester to seal it up. This one I drilled the center hole. I've got a little bit of an issue here because I've got a spar or a rib on the back side. I'm going to have to do some little cutouts to get to where the bolts are going to go, or move the bolts, one or the other. I'll probably make the cutouts. So the other thing is, I think I said I was switching over to 3/4 inch axles. These are my 4x6 wheels with the Cessna 150 rotors on them. Anyway, these need, I put bearings in them that take 3/4 inch axle. I found on eBay these Harley Davidson axles. Bought 2 of them, $12 a piece. Come with spacers. So I'll be cutting it somewhere in here, using about half of it. But if you decide to go with 3/4 inch axles and larger wheels and tires on your airplane, then that's a good cheap place to get axles. If you go to Aircraft Spruce and buy them, they're way more expensive than $12 with free shipping. Anyway, we'll wrap this one up. Next video will be actually mounting the gear in place. So, see you then.